Why was there so much corruption in colonial trade routes? Imagine a time when the roads and waterways connecting continents were filled with more than just ships and traders. They were also filled with bribes, secret deals, and shady practices. That's because the way colonial trade routes were set up made corruption almost inevitable. When European powers like Spain and Portugal controlled trade, they created strict rules and monopolies that limited how goods could be moved and sold. This meant traders and officials faced many restrictions, which made breaking the rules tempting. In Latin America during the colonial era, government officials often bought their jobs. These positions weren't just titles but investments. Officials wanted to make back what they paid and then some. To do that, they would accept bribes from merchants or even smuggle goods to avoid taxes and restrictions. Since these officials needed money, they often took illicit payments to speed up paperwork or overlook illegal activities. This created a cycle where corruption became part of everyday life. The colonial authorities also kept trade tightly controlled through monopolies. They sold rights to trade specific goods or regions, which made some traders and officials eager to manipulate the system for profit. Customs officials, for example, could demand extra payments to let ships pass or to clear goods faster. If they refused, ships might get stuck or be forced to pay under the table. Smuggling became common because it was easier to bypass these restrictions than follow the rules. Another reason corruption thrived was because the rules governing trade were confusing and often contradictory. Officials could delay or deny permits, and traders had little choice but to pay extra to get things moving. This lack of transparency meant that honest enforcement was rare, and bribery became a normal part of doing business. The more complicated the process, the more opportunities there were for officials to ask for money. In Latin society, these corrupt practices became part of everyday life. Wealth and influence were concentrated among a few who knew how to manipulate the system. This made it harder for fair trade to grow and for smaller merchants to compete. Illegal trade and smuggling also flourished because traders wanted to avoid the high costs and restrictions of official routes. Many officials turned a blind or even helped smuggle goods for a cut of the profits. In the end, the mix of selling government jobs, low salaries, strict trade rules, and the desire for quick profits created a perfect environment for corruption. It was a system that rewarded dishonesty and made honest trade difficult. This deeply affected the economy and society, shaping how Latin America developed during the colonial era.